Have you ever thought about how a single, super simple word could hold the key to global communication? Well, in this explainer, we're going to start with a word you absolutely use every day to uncover a fascinating system designed to connect the world.
All right, so let's jump right in. How can just one word, a word you probably say all the time without even thinking about it, unlock a huge story about connecting people all across the globe? That's the big question we're tackling today. And that word is soft. Sounds simple enough, right? I mean, we all think we know what it means, but do we really? Let's dig in and break it down, starting with the absolute basics. So right off the bat, even a word this simple has some variety. If you're in the UK, you're probably going to hear it pronounced soft. Hop over to the US and it's more like soft. It's a tiny difference for sure, but it's a perfect example of how language is always shifting and adapting depending on where you are. And then, of course, you've got your basic grammar. There's the adjective itself, soft. If something's a little more so, it's softer. And if it's the most it can be, it's the softest. See, it's super predictable, super reliable. And that kind of solid structure is actually a big deal for these kinds of fundamental words. So what does it actually mean? Well, the first definition is probably the one that pops into your head first. It's all about a feeling, right? A physical sensation, something that is just nice to touch. Like this, cotton is a soft cloth. You can practically feel it just by reading the words. This is language at its most direct, its most sensory. But soft isn't just about how things feel. It can also mean flexible, which, okay, that adds a completely different layer to its meaning. And check out this example. When metal is heated, it gets soft. Now that is a whole different world from cotton. It's the same word, but here it's describing a state of matter, its ability to be bent and shaped. The versatility is pretty incredible. Okay, so we've got pronunciation, we've got grammar, a couple of definitions. Seems straightforward. But when we were looking closer, we found something else. A little clue that points to a much, much bigger idea. A kind of special label, a classification that makes this one simple word stand out from literally tens of thousands of others in the English language. And this is it, right there. Soft is on the basic English 850 list. Whoa. Okay, so all of a sudden, soft isn't just some random word anymore. It's actually part of a system, a deliberate plan. It's a word that was chosen for a reason. Which, naturally, leads to a huge question. What is this list? And why is a word we all use, like soft, even on it? This is where our little word investigation blows up into this really cool global concept. 850. Remember that number. That's the key. We're not talking about 1 million words or even 10,000, just 850 carefully picked to do a very specific and very important job. And this is what it's all about. Basic English. It's a whole simplified version of the language, basically engineered for clear communication between people from different countries. The whole idea is that with just these 850 essential words, including our friend soft, anyone, anywhere can get their basic ideas across. And that really gets to the core of why any of this matters. Think about it. These 850 words are like the ultimate Lego bricks for language. They build a foundation for genuinely clear communication. They let people from totally different places, speaking different languages, actually connect. It's just amazing proof that you don't always need big, complicated words to talk about big, complicated ideas. And getting a grip on these core words, it helps us understand the whole shebang, language itself. So there you have it. We started with one little word, soft, and it led us to this huge idea, a whole system designed for global understanding. Kind of makes you think, doesn't it? We live in this world that's just jam-packed with jargon and complexity. But what if the most powerful, most important ideas are actually the ones you can explain with the simplest words?